You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. I am Daniel.
I am Clint, and everybody, this is John. We'll get to him in a moment. We got the three windows. This episode of Locked On Bulldogs is brought to you by McDonald's, proudly serving communities since 1965. McDonald's has always been more than just a place to get tasty, affordable food. It's a place where friends and family from the community come together. A big thank you to our friends at Mickey D's, always being there. I'm loving it. Like I said, this is John. He tweets sports. Hey, John, you should make that into a Twitter handle.
That's a great idea.
I'm here to help you out, brother.
Yeah. Awesome. If you put those words together and just add an @ in front of it.
Okay, good.
Great.
Those of you who are new to the podcast, John does tweet sports. John Tweets Sports is the Twitter handle. Go over there for great stuff. We're going to let him plug a couple more things he's doing at the end of the podcast. But glad you're with us. We are not gurus or insiders. We're not experts. As a matter of fact, we're barely amateurs, which, I don't know how that's a thing, but
yeah,
it seems to fit us nicely. It seems to rest on the shoulders nicely. We don't take ourselves too seriously nor each other. We like to have fun on this podcast and talk UGA football like you do because we're fans first and foremost, Daniel.
Yeah, some people get tired. We do the same intro on every single show. Some people, it's just like, all right, we'll get through it, get over it. And then you read the comments on YouTube and you realize why we have to say this on every single
So Florida fans don't know what they're doing.
It's not English is hard. All right, look. As Clint said, we don't take ourselves too seriously, nor do we take each other too seriously. John, we take moderately serious, but the more he comes on the podcast, honestly, the less seriously I'm going to take.
I mean, let's be honest. I come so I can see what Florida fans are going to say in the comments. That's my only goal is to stir up Florida fans in the YouTube comments of the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
Turns out it doesn't take much.
This Friday episode, let's be honest, the Florida fans have already quit. They're not still out there, are they? Surely they're not.
Daniel, they have. Are you kidding me? The stupidity knows no bounds.
They've already sold their tickets to the game. Guys, you can get a ticket to the game for about $50 if you want to sit on the Florida side. They're out there to be had.
Sheen of the 2020 wheel route is just dulled. I mean, that off season of celebrating
really
is tough scene.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing. If you're watching us on YouTube, just click that subscribe button on YouTube. That's all that we really need you to do. It helps us out a bunch. There's also an audio podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. If you're listening on audio right now, do us a favor as the episode's playing, just subscribe to the YouTube channel. Even if you don't watch videos on YouTube, you can still subscribe just in case you want to see what John looks like. You can do that now. That's there. We appreciate that. Thanks for checking all those links out. We've had a full week of shows, Clint. It's been a good week, but now the week is coming to a close. And now we're moving on to as we like to say, it's the business time. I'm wearing my business socks, and that's how you know that it's business time.
The long sleeve under the T-shirt really gives off the professional look, Daniel.
I didn't say professional time. I said business time.
Sure.
It's time for business.
Sure.
The Flight of the Conchords reference. Wouldn't expect you to get it. It's humor. But Florida Week is upon us, and we've invited John back on the show. Fridays, John, we like to play a little excited about, nervous about, don't sleep on. It's one of our favorite things we do on the podcast. I know you said to me earlier in the day, it's one of your favorite things that we do on the podcast.
I love it.
And so here we are. Let's talk about these things together. So I'm going to let you kick us off, John. What are you excited about this weekend? It's 3:30. It's the cocktail party. It's number 1 ranked Georgia. It's unranked 3-loss Florida. There's so much to be excited about, but what particularly gets you going when it comes to
I think you just said it. I think 3-loss Florida coming into the cocktail party is about as exciting as it gets. It feels very good. I don't know. You said 3:30. I think around 7:30. Dan Mullen's post game presser is probably what I'm most excited about. What moral victories?
We've never had someone go post game presser on the what am I excited about?
I mean, you just know what moral victories is he going to plug? Is he going to be wearing a costume? What's going to happen? Is he even going to show up? Who knows?
He might be on the tarmac. He might be on the tarmac being served a pink slip.
He might get tarmacked at a game where you actually ride the bus to the game, which is just a little.
The team tells him that they've chartered a plane back just to get him to the airport so that they could pink slip him. Oh my gosh, what a troll job that would be!
No, in all seriousness, I'm very excited to watch Georgia's defense versus the Florida offense, specifically in two areas. One, on third down. So Georgia's defense is second in the SEC on third down conversion. Florida's offense is 8th in the SEC on third down conversion. And versus ranked teams, guys, Florida's offense is 13th of 14 SEC teams on third down. So I see Georgia. You obviously, you look at Florida and they're going to come in and they're going to try to run the ball, maybe.
Question mark.
Question mark. What are they going to try to do? They have no vertical passing game. They don't have receivers that can beat Georgia on the outside. They're going to get into third down, and this Florida offense is just flat out not good on third down. Not only are they not good, but they're 122nd in the nation in turnover margin. So I am excited to see the Georgia defense get Florida in difficult third down situations and see what happens. we know they're not likely to convert on third down, and then they're really likely to turn the ball over. And so for me, when I look at it, this game, it's so funny because you look back at the Georgia wins before, the situation last year where we were missing 27 starters and JT Daniels.
No, they're not. They can't handle that. Don't bring that up.
But you look, and this game has at least under Kirby Smart, has come down to third down. There's been the third and Grantham, kind of chant. This time, I think it's flipped. I think Florida. If you look at their defense, they're playing better than they were last year or the couple of years before, but their offense is just not good, and especially not good on third down. And so when I look at that, I think Georgia's going to stop the run. I think it's going to put them in difficult situations. You're going to get into third down situations where they're not good anyway, and they're going to turn the ball over. And I am very, very excited to see that. And how that plays out.
Could we be saying, John, to your point, could this be the game when the phrase "third and Mullen" is coined? Is this if we have third and Grantham, can we get a third and Mullen trend?
I was surprised. Florida has only played one team that has a top 25 defense, and that was Kentucky. They were 4-13 on third down, 30% third down conversion. They only put up 13 points. Maybe it's third and Mullen. Maybe third and Mullen makes an appearance at this year's cocktail party. Because I don't see how Florida. I don't see how Florida's going to stay on the field if they get into third down situations, and I see them getting into a lot of third down situations.
Clint, what are you excited about? What's playing in them headphones right now?
Just the sweet sounds of John Coltrane. Oh no, wait, that's John Tweet Sports. Just washing over. Here's the deal. I'm calling it right now.
Oh no.
We're getting another pick six. We get another pick six this game. Okay? We get into pick six. You can't tell me either one of these quarterbacks coming in, getting hit constantly, being pressured constantly, third down and long. And Dan's not, his ego is too far. He's not looking for that field position game. He's not looking to put us in bad situations. He wants it all. And I don't know. I don't understand if Florida knows just how good our DBs are, but this just in, we are rated the best in the SEC. So that's something.
It's pretty good.
Is it?
Give me a pick 6. That's what I'm excited for.
Hey, Clint.
Go ahead.
Does Georgia get pressure on the quarterback?
All of it.
My boy Dog Out West, Graham Coffee, tweeted today that Anthony Richardson under pressure is 3 of 11 with 3 picks.
Oh no! So he's
got a 27% completion rate, and he's thrown 3 picks.
On the plus side, only 5 balls have fallen to the turf. So
there you go.
6 of them have been caught. More passes have been completed than have been dropped. Clint, if I could turn my screen around and show it to the camera, you would see that you stole the pick 6 is what I am excited about. And I'll just take it a step further because John, you mentioned it, the third down situations and the pressure packages and all that. I'm excited for the secondary to have a little coming out party. Check back with me in the next segment, but I think this secondary is going to carry the day, if I might, for this defense in this game. I think that this is going to be a game where we look back and say Georgia's offense won, which we'll get to that, I think, more. Check with me in the third segment about that. But Georgia's offense I like in this game a lot. But I think the secondary is the unit that we're going to be looking at saying this is really what carried the day for Georgia. Yeah, do I think we got a great chance to get a score? I do. Do I think we have a chance to get multiple turnovers? I do. Do I think we have a chance to make a lot of tackles on the perimeter, bat down a lot of balls, and really mitigate any sort of passing threat that Florida can put together? I do. We're first in passing defense, y'all. It's not I don't know. And I get that that's not all the secondary. John, to your point, that's the pass rush. That's all of it. We're number 1 in passing defense. And their quarterbacks can throw the ball, but that's not their strength. That's not the thing that they do the best is pass the ball down the field. And so you match those 2 things up, and it's a recipe for a lot of excitement.
Yeah, I'm personally shocked that you refer to them as quarterbacks.
Yeah,
running backs that can kind of throw the ball.
He said they can throw, and I thought, where's the punchline? What's coming after that?
Listen, it's getting close to the game. This has been we'll talk in the next segment. Check back with me in the next segment.
Okay. Speaking of which, we're going to come back after the segment, tell you what we are nervous about right after this. We'll let you know about McDonald's. They are the host sponsor of this podcast today. It's always more than a place to go for tasty, affordable food. It's a place where friends and family go, a place where classmates can meet up for study group, knowing they'll have dependable Wi-Fi and endless supplies of French fries and McFlurries. You're telling me I go there and use a Wi-Fi and they just going to come on bringing those fries and McFlurries all day long to me? That's what's sign me up. Win or lose, it's a place where teammates, competitors, and home team or away team can come and recharge. It's the place you always look forward to stopping on a long road trip, which all 3 of us have had long road trips, and we just need to throw food down people's throats. Guess what? Bring on them golden arches all day long. If you're coming home after a Little League game, stopping at McDonald's after a big sporting event, Daniel and I made the mistake of not going to McDonald's at the Clemson game. We instead went to another competitor, and let me tell you, that's going to, in the offseason, we'll have a story. We'll have a story for you in the offseason. We'll give you more behind the scenes on Clemson, but it did not go great.
Will we? I don't know that we will, to be honest with you. That doesn't seem like something we'll do.
So head to your local McDonald's to refuel and connect. Did somebody say Locked On Bulldogs watch party? I'm loving it.
All right, fellas. First of all, speaking of the Clemson game, Clint, Emily's reached out. John, you were there too. Emily's reached out, and she wants some credit. She wants credit where credit's due. She said, it's fine that we had Justin on Wednesday. It's fine that we had Justin on the podcast. But she said, don't forget, I'm the reason you got kicked out of McDonald's. Dude, she showed up.
The Chili's?
Yeah, the Chili's. Sorry, not the I got McDonald's on the brain now. I got Frosties and French fries. Or McFlurries and French fries on the brain.
Nuggets on the brain.
She said, I'm the reason that you got kicked out of the Chili's. And it's true. Emily showed up with what's his name? Don't care to know.
Clemson fan.
Doesn't matter at this point.
Doesn't matter his name. Not interesting.
Emily, let us know how that relationship's going. I need an update.
No, we got an update. This may be for another time on the podcast. She's trying to convert him. Listen, it's the Lord's work. I get it. It's you're doing your best. She's trying to convert him into being a Georgia fan. But I think it's going to take another couple of years of watching Trevor Lawrence-less offense, and he'll be jumping on. He'll be jumping on board.
Well, I was at the Chili's, and I agree with Emily. She deserves credit because
she does.
Things were going well until she showed up, and we got
credit where credit's due. Emily, you screwed it up for all of us. Thank you. All right, let's talk about what we're nervous about, fellas. And I'm going to go first because I want to give you an opportunity to respond because I don't think you're going to like it. I'm not nervous we're going to lose the game. Okay, I know we're going to win the game. Am I as confident today as I was yesterday about my -14 significant wager that I placed? No, I'm not. I'm not as confident today.
Second mortgage bet.
As I was yesterday. I'm looking at reasonably priced tents as we speak, just in case that I need to make a downsize in my home. But here's the thing that I keep coming back to, guys, and that is, I'll say it succinctly and then I'll explain. I'm nervous that Florida is going to run the ball against Georgia, and I'm nervous they're going to be able to do it. Okay, let me talk. Let me talk for a moment. Alabama's defense, fellas, good or not good this year?
Real bad.
John?
Bad.
Okay, well, I got a real
getting better, but
okay,
when they played Florida, very bad.
I got a real bad and a bad. Alabama's defense ranks 6th in rushing defense in the NCAA. Okay, they are not good against the pass. Alabama is not, but they are 6th nationally against the run, averaging 2.7 yards per carry for their opponents on the season. Do you know what Florida rushed for against Alabama? 5.9 yards per carry. Okay, that is over 3 yards more than Alabama's season average. Do you know what Texas A&M, who you probably believe ran all over Alabama in that game, do you know what they rushed for in that game? 3.1 yards per attempt for Texas A&M, 5.9 for Florida in that game. We watched that game. Alabama couldn't tackle, but Florida was getting yards consistently on the ground, time after time in that game. It's not that I don't think Georgia's defense is better than Alabama's. We are 2.19 yards per carry, which is an unseemly number. Like that's an insane number that Georgia gives up per attempt in the running game. But this is by far the best rushing attack that Georgia has seen or will see this season, and that includes any playoff or any championship game. This is the best running attack that Georgia will see. They ran the ball in Alabama, who in terms of run defense is a comparable defense to the University of Georgia. And I'm nervous that they're going to be able to run it on us to not only gain yards, but to potentially move some people around in the secondary, which Georgia's never had to do. Georgia's always, the whole season, has not given up any big plays because they've never had to drop anybody into the box. They've always been able to sit over the top of everything. I'm nervous that Dan Mullen and this offense is going to be able to scheme themselves into making that change for Dan Lanning and the defense, and that's going to cause some problems for Georgia.
John, I need you to go because I am deep into a research rabbit hole in which I want to eviscerate Daniel. So I need you to go.
Is LSU good or bad on defense?
On defense, bad.
Yeah,
they're bad.
How many? So Florida played LSU, lost 49-42.
Remember
how many rushing yards did Florida have that game?
Don't know. Didn't look.
138.
Uh-oh.
138.
138. Yeah. When you look at Florida and you look at their rushing offense, it typically requires a couple things for them to make work. One, terrible linebacker play. It typically requires linebackers not filling their gaps, not making the right reads, which Alabama has been suspect. I don't know what Henry To'oTo'o did between his transfer portal from when he was at Tennessee to when he ended up at Alabama. But
spoiler alert, John, he's the same player at Alabama that he was at Tennessee, but Alabama fans thought magically he was going to transform into somebody because they broke college football when they acquired him, apparently.
Yes.
And yet he was average at Tennessee and he's average at Alabama. Yeah.
So Florida has put up numbers running the ball, but they haven't against Kentucky, they had 171 yards rushing. Against LSU, they had 138 yards rushing. When I look at what it will take for Florida to be able to run the ball, we're going to have a somebody not doing something on defense, a lapse, or Florida has figured out something that no one else has figured out in the 7 games that they have played Georgia. I would say, for me, my response to you is, yeah, those are things to think about. But when you put them in the context of how disciplined our defense plays, how disciplined the front 7 is against the run, and how we protect the edge, which Florida will try to get out on too and run some option game. I just don't see. I see our defense being too disciplined for them to be able to run the ball in a meaningful way. Now, are they going to try? Heck yes. Like they're going to try every counter. They're going to try every zone. They're going to try reads and options, and they're going to try everything they can. I think our defense is. When you look at statistically, when you look at rushing the ball, maybe there's some similarities to Alabama. When you look at the discipline of that front 7, it's night and day difference. So that's my
all right
read on it.
I can't find any credible source that has missed tackles.
This is shocking to me.
Okay,
missed tackles. An argument with I can't find any.
No, you stop right there.
Hey, welcome to the podcast, everybody.
There is no credible source. You shut your mouth right now. Okay,
no credible source.
I'm gonna drink this.
Yes. You drink. Okay, there's no credible source that tells me how many missed tackles Alabama had in that game against Florida, but my guess is bazillion. Just all the tackles. They refused
rough numbers.
To tackle.
You're rounding.
I'm rounding up.
But it's bazillion, yeah.
So yards after contact, real large in that game. I watched the game. Alabama hit them and just couldn't bring them down. The pass efficiency for Alabama, their pass defensive efficiency ranks, let me get there. I believe 40. No, I'm sorry. We're in the 50. No, I'm sorry. We're in the 60s now. 67th NCAA pass efficiency on defense. LSU has a worse pass efficiency stat on defense. Now, what that tells me is they're really, really bad. It's horrible. If they're against the pass. If they're so bad at that, wouldn't that mean that a really bad offense would still find success in the pass? But they didn't. They couldn't.
No. And that's why I'm not nervous that Florida's going to be able to move the ball through the air against us.
I understand that. What I'm suggesting to you, Daniel, is your statistical analysis is a little messed up to say that a team is so highly ranked on rushing performance when they're skewed because they don't take into account when ball carrier goes down. Georgia player touches somebody, they go down. Okay? This is Monty Rice all over the place. Monty Rice is replicated times 11 on the defense. Okay? They don't miss tackles. I'm not nervous about them running the ball. I'm not nervous passing the ball. Here's what I'm honestly nervous about. And dear Lord, help me. I am so nervous that Dan Mullen has 3 trick plays that he is going to run to perfection and score a touchdown on every single one of them. And the whole rest of the game, we shut them down. And if that's to happen, I'm going to need a new TV from Costco.
offense. Yeah, I do think there's a legitimate cause to be nervous. I don't think it's going to be as much trick plays as it will be
cute plays.
Yeah, cute play. What you would call a trick play, Gus Malzahn type offense.
There you go. Yes,
what you're looking for.
This is what I'm
John,
saying.
Are you nervous about anything, or are you just here to talk us off the ledge today?
No, there's the only thing that I'm nervous about slightly, and it is very slightly because I'm very confident about this game. Dan Mullen has shown a propensity to figure out something from an offensive standpoint and exploit it enough to maybe not win the game, but to put you in a position where you are stressed as a team.
To make you feel dirty as you're winning. Make you feel like you need to take a shower afterwards.
So if you look at you brought it up, Daniel. If you look at what happened against Alabama, right? I mean, that was Dan Mullen finding something to exploit and doing it over and over and over and over again. I would say, it's similarly to LSU, to be honest. Like Florida put up 42 points and 350 yards passing, and it was because they found something and they just kept going to it.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, same as Kentucky, to be honest. So penalties in the red zone, or they score a bunch more points in that game, obviously. And but they
easy,
they're just moving
Dan.
the ball down the field.
Easy, Dan.
Yes.
Yeah,
What
the hell has happened on this podcast? Hold on.
He's back, guys. He's back.
So there's that. But what I will say, the only thing that I'm really nervous about on Saturday is, will this game end in time for me to get a good dinner before the World Series Game 4 starts at 8:00? That is what I'm nervous about. That's the only thing I'm legitimately nervous about. And so I've got, I'm just worried in the Atlanta area that Uber Eats and all the delivery services will be slammed, and I will not be able to get what I need sustenance-wise between
you got to plan ahead
during the game.
John, you hang up this call. Hang up this call, and you go immediately to the grocery store. You got to start.
I've got to figure.
You get that queso dip. You get that in the crock pot. You get that going right now. You get the air fryer up and going. All right, we're off the rails already. I don't know who the heck I am co-hosting with. This man is insane. I don't know what has happened to him. Who is the doppelganger?
If you're not ready for real talk, then don't come to the podcast.
Okay.
I mean, it's Florida, Georgia, right? Like are we really gonna roll into this game?
How many of these things you lived through? All right, just don't. It's been too many. It's been too many. All right. Guys, we're coming back. I'm going to tell you what you shouldn't sleep on. So are these guys. Hopefully they'll be positive. Mine is, but hopefully these guys won't follow my lead. First, I want to tell you about betonline.ag. They are your online sportsbook experts. They are the place to go to place every wager that you want this weekend. Whether you're betting on the Braves to win the World Series, or you're betting on the Hawks to continue in the NBA on their way back to the Eastern Conference Finals, hopefully the NBA Finals this season, or whether you're betting on college football or the NFL, hockey's back, whatever you want, betonline.ag has it. Right now, you enter the promo code LOCKEDON, you get a 50% welcome bonus on your initial deposit. That means free money with which to bet. Bet that Georgia money line. And I'm going to give you another bet. I'm going to sneak a free one in next segment, just so you're clear. So go to betonline.ag, get the account ready, and get ready to make all of your wagers this weekend.
Am I worthy enough, Daniel, to continue with the podcast with this read, or have I not lived through enough Georgia-Florida games for you to be elite enough to be on this podcast? I just want to know.
Boy, I've been accused of treating this podcast as therapy often. I feel like right now we're getting into some places in terms of Clint's psyche that just a real deep and dark. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it after the show's over.
I don't think we will. He's just gonna run.
Built Bar is the tastiest protein bar on planet Earth. And I'll tell you about it because I don't have any emotional hang-ups whatsoever talking about protein bars, because it's a protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. They're soft and they're chewy and they're delicious. They come in a wide variety of flavors. And you can go to BuiltBar.com right now, enter the promo code LOCKEDON15, and you'll get 15% off your order. That means, Colin, when you get that box into your house, you enter the promo code LOCKEDON15, and you get 15% off your order at BuiltBar.com, the tastiest protein bar there is. Clint, you doing okay?
All right. I'm doing fine. This is, by the way, this is exactly how I pictured the podcast Friday before Georgia-Florida game going. This is exactly what I pictured.
It should be exactly this, guys.
Oh, I'm stressed.
Exactly this.
I've got a Kramer Kenny Rogers Roasters vibe to me today. Just like eyes bugging out, like Oh, I'm stressed.
No. If Daniel and I were in the same room, like we would just go absolutely like brother status right now, and just like start leg wrestling in the middle of the living room, like to see which one gets the last. Okay.
Don't sleep on, fellas. What are people not thinking about in terms of this game that they should be thinking more about? What is something that folks ought not to sleep on? The floor is available.
So we're talking a lot. We have talked all year about the Georgia defense. I would not sleep on Georgia's offensive line having their best game of the year.
Here we go.
Dominating that Florida front. Georgia having their way in the running game, opening up the play action pass, deep balls down the field, and Georgia really stretching Florida in every way that they possibly want to and can. I think, there's a lot to expose with that Florida defense. LSU did it 2 weeks ago with that front seven and ran for 321 yards on them. And so I wouldn't sleep on that Georgia offensive line setting the tone and having their absolute best game of the year. The second thing, I'll give you a twofer. The second thing I wouldn't sleep on is Daniel, you mentioned on the podcast earlier this week that, it's been since, what did you say, 2018 that Florida has gotten beat by double digits or something like that?
By more than 14, yeah.
By more than 14. I wouldn't sleep on Georgia holding Florida to 13 points or less and the total still hitting 51. I didn't get a chance to be on the Lock show yesterday, but I could see that total hitting 51 and Florida having less than 14, 17 points or less, and Georgia just really running away with it. So those are that's a twofer. Don't sleep on.
You love to see it, Clint.
I think everybody's expecting the conversation about Stetson Bennett, JT Daniels, which one's going to start, who's going to play, how much they're going to go back and forth, who's going to split time, yada, yada, yada. Don't sleep on it not mattering, because neither one of them will throw more than 10 passes each, because our offensive line is going to be in such a lather with Zamir and Cook and McIntosh and who else you want back there. Brock getting another end around. I don't care. I think the imposing nature, Monk's going to get his shots. We're going to throw 7 to 8 times with JT or with Stetson, but it's not going to matter. They're going to be averaging 15, 17 yards per play, because the whole rest of the time we're going to be staring at Dan as we just matriculate down the field over and over and over and say, come stop us. Don't sleep on this rushing attack having the biggest game this season.
Yeah, look, I feel like segment 1, I was right in line with all of your thinking. Segment 2, I was an abomination for even suggesting that the best rushing attack that Georgia will face this year might be able to run the ball. I know, it's insane. And then now segment 3 here, we're just wrapping, putting a little bow on this thing together. We're all friends again. We're all coming back together.
Are we at the McDonald's?
To be honest with you, I see the game playing out a little bit different than y'all. I was ready to say, don't sleep on 350 passing yards for somebody. in this game. But instead, I'm going to go with this because I think y'all might have swayed me with the offensive line talk and the way they match up against this front seven. I do think it's a huge strength for Georgia. It's hard to get that LSU game out of your brain. Florida is going to play a lot better than that LSU defensive performance. Absolutely. And so I think if you're a Georgia fan, you got to flush that out of your brain to some extent. That was a different scenario for this Florida team, and that's not what you're going to see necessarily in this game. But I think I'm willing to go 550 total yards and 45 points for this Georgia offense. Both. I think Kirby can score as many as he wants. I think Todd Monken can score as many as he wants in this game. I do not see a lot of punts for Georgia in this game. I do not see a lot of stops for the Florida defense in this game. It'll be a question of whether we score touchdowns or field goals. But I think you're going to see some deep ball. I think you're going to see the deep balls raining, fellas. I think whether it's Stetson or hopefully it's JT, I think you're going to see Arian Smith catch a touchdown pass in this game. I think you're going to see Jermaine Burton catch a touchdown pass in this game. And I think you're going to see the top come off this Florida defense. I know it's getting warm. It's getting hot.
It's getting hot in there. It's getting hot in there.
Okay. Listen, and based on segment 2 and segment 3 from me, the bet I feel most confident in this game is the over. The further we get into the week, I'm with John. I do not know that I think Georgia's going to hold Florida to under 13 points. I'll be honest with you, I don't. I'm more along the lines of Justin on Wednesday. I think Florida's going to get up around 20 because I do think they're going to be able to run the ball against Georgia, and I do think that's going to help them move the ball down the field and score, maybe not touchdowns, but score against this Georgia defense with some regularity. But I think Georgia's going to get as many points as they want. And if you're going to give me that over-under at 50, guys, go take that over because 51, 52 points is, I think, that's a floor for where this game could go. I see a lot of points being scored.
Well, one nugget I'll throw in related to Florida being able to run the ball. Georgia, when you look back at that 2017 national championship run, you had the lure of Stetson Bennett running scout team and giving the Georgia defense a look for guys like Baker Mayfield, for example. You guys know who's been running scout team for Georgia?
Who's that?
Brock Vandegrift. Do you think Brock is giving the team a look on a dual threat running, got big arm situation? I wouldn't sleep on Brock Vandegrift giving this defense a look that will emulate better than what they'll see from Anthony Richardson or Emory Jones on Saturday. So.
Don't sleep on Emory Jones starting the game, being benched in favor of AR, and then him being benched in favor of Emory Jones again. Don't sleep on that. And Dan's going to spin it like he was rotating, but don't sleep on him being totally disgruntled with both of them. Gosh.
Don't sleep on
the headset, guys. It's going to be askew. It's all there.
Don't sleep on Dan Mullen scowling and or yelling at Todd Grantham at some point in this game. We could do this all day. There's a lot of
Todd Grantham going to do one of those Homer Simpsons into the hedges.
into the hedge. Yeah. Guys, it's the greatest. It's the best game of the year. This is it. This is the most fun as a Georgia fan. Savor it, take it in. It's another opportunity to watch this team. It's another opportunity for us to beat Florida. This is their year. They're supposed to win. This is their second year of a 3-year window.
That's right.
That's how it always goes. Do in this series.
Yeah,
we win them 3 at a time, and this is Florida's year. And so, I guess we'll just have to wait and see if they are able to get the win the way that they're supposed to.
You can't spell Dan Mullen was a loser at Florida without 4 L's.
You can't. He's tried. He has tried every which way. John, So glad to have you back on the podcast. Tell the people where they can find. Tell the people where they can find more of your stuff.
Yeah, so on Twitter, I'm at John Tweet Sports. You can follow me there, and I have a newsletter and a site called the Dog Dispatch that we're getting off the ground. You can go to dogdispatch.com. A little bit of nerdy analytics, a little bit of the humor thrown in, and a lot of jabs at our rivals through the Dog Dispatch. So sign up and look forward to sending that out to you guys.
Has PETA come out and told you that you can't dispatch a dog and you need to change your?
You got to change that. You're not allowed to dispatch.
I don't know what I'd change it to. I mean, it's like a bullpen and arm barn. They want to change bullpen to arm barn. So if they want to suggest something different for a what you would do with a dog, but we will be dispatching dog information directly to your inbox and onto the interwebs.
You love to see it. Georgia fans, get over there, follow him, John Tweet Sports with no H, and there's a link on his Twitter where you can sign up for that newsletter, get all that information coming directly to your inbox with the website to be coming soon. So make sure you follow John over there. We will be back tomorrow. We got another full slate of guests next week. We got a lot more fun stuff planned on the show, talking about what will hopefully be a fun time in Jacksonville. So hope you guys enjoy it, and we will see y'all on Monday.
See ya.